It's been a while, and I would normally introduce myself as Lone Wolf the Six-Skin Poet, but as of recently, I don't feel so alone in my thoughts. I've been watching a lot of media for a while recently. Not that I was ever this political guru, so I'm not going to pretend that I know everything that the government believes in, but I do have a very interpersonal experience with this country and the people that are within it. And I have to see people about other people that experience things in this country. And every time I see it, I have to remind myself that I'm grateful for the truth. I'm grateful for the. I'm grateful we have a fucking idiot in office, because it's time that we started looking at the reality of the situation. The more things change, it's very important that we start looking at the situation, what it really is. Everybody says America is this really great place, this really great country to come to. But what makes it great? When something is truly great, it's great for everyone. And I think what we recently have started to get more of a 360-degree perspective is, some people feel that way, but there's a minute percentage of the inhabitants of this area that feel that way. Do you think Native Americans feel that this was a great place to be? Do you feel like African Americans feel like this is a really great place to be? You may see people on media, or I can say Mexican Americans too. You may see people on media that say one thing today, but what are they going to say 5, 10 years down the line when we have to look at everything for what we really understand this place to be? You are not that. I hear a lot about and who should be in this country. There was no time where shit was just real. This country was built off of bullshit. It was. This country was built off a lie that says that you can come here for freedom, but it was built off people's freedoms being taken away. But you can accept it as truth. History books are not going to accept that as truth. But for some reason, we were taught to do that over and over with lies in history. And as you go through school and you go through college, and that's what it takes to make it, to be someone here, you've got to embrace that lie. And what that does is it builds upon itself. You build upon what you see now. The truth is coming out, and people reject that. They reject the lies. But what I really find unfortunate, and this is the saddest part of it all, is that we look at it and we see these minorities and we see them getting on TV and they support Trump and they support the border wall and they support these agendas. These are the people who were brainwashed within that system. They were brainwashed to believe in that and to not believe enough in themselves and not have the dignity and respect. And that's why you have people who, after all that was said and done that we need to do in order to bring down that system, stop watching this fucking football. Does football put food on your fucking table? Does football help your brother? Does it help your brother that didn't do anything but do what they believe was good for their community? Did it help that situation? It didn't. You back to your regular, and I speak just to NFL fans who can't put down a fucking season. These police out here, I'm not saying all police, there are good police officers, but you have a lot of police officers out here who are killing people who are just getting pulled over. And these people are getting pulled over because of the color of their skin, because they're being profiled. They get pulled over, and you may not have the most competent person who's getting pulled over. Does that give you a right to get shot and killed? You may have been raised in a experience that all your life, but turn on TV and don't see other people go through that, and you're frustrated. You frustrated that you was born in the ghetto. You frustrated that your ancestors upon ancestors built this shit. You frustrated that you still see white people privileged and experiencing a better life based upon their ancestors, without having to face any consequences for what their ancestors did, not having to pay any kind of reparations to anyone else, just basically stepping on the backs of others. You have all these people who don't believe in immigration now. You got people immigrating to Mexico right now to avoid paying taxes to U.S. And those people are white. But media is not going to talk about that, because that's not really important. In the battle of things, it's just important to call out minorities when they do things that are outside the spectrum or acceptable. You know, we're going to bring our thunder down on you. We can, as Caucasians, we can do this, but you can't because you're a minority. You can't say, as a Caucasian, I can talk about the president and be on a network and get away with it because my name is Trump. But when somebody truth about he's shown what his experience and what his background is was factual, then everybody got a problem. When I say everybody, I mean brainwashed minorities and white people. At some point, this country has to understand, as a whole, that you will be held accountable. You may not be held accountable in this time, but there's a lot more time for you to be held accountable in. You think you can just live this life and do as your ancestors did and you will not be judged? That the time is coming when you will answer for it. You can't just live off the backs of others. You can't do that shit. Religion, but in the realm of spirituality and morality, you're wrong on every count. You can't sit up here and say you feel some kind of way because somebody calls you a racist and you got racist friends, and every policy that you implement, it benefits white people and dogs out minorities. There's no question. Nobody's stupid anymore. Nobody is going to tolerate that shit. Benefiting off the back of people who were not citizens of this country that you employ to help build your empire, and then you feel like you're good and you want to just kick people out because you're in a powerful position. Guess what? That's what your ancestors did. And when you share the same mentality and way of thinking as your ancestors and you do shit without thinking, that I seen in one of the interviews where they were like, well, he hugs black babies. What the fuck does that mean? You can hug a black baby and still have the illest intentions for a living organism. But that's the way that you function. White supremacists, racists, are a cancer. You can't just exist by yourself, because for every cancer, guess what? There's a cure. Our doctors may not publicize it, but there's a cure for you. There's a cure for you. Hateful comment, this is the truth. If you don't believe in global warming, it's coming. And there's not a place for Caucasian people when it comes to global warming. Because guess what? You're going to turn black. You will not survive global warming. I got white friends. There's some people that are Caucasian that I really care about. But there's some Caucasian people, you're as disgusting as your ancestors. Because you have the same moral fiber as your ancestors did. You're no different than what they did and what they're capable of. And you will answer for that. It may not be now, but that's the way, not necessarily your house functions, because Christian religion allows people to be controlled. But there's a greater spiritual entity that's bigger than what you know, and you've seen that with Irma and Harvey and all the rest of the natural catastrophes that are getting ready to come that you endorse because you don't believe in global warming. And you continue to rape this planet and fuck it over to facilitate your need. But you're going to kill everybody on this planet because you're selfish and you're greedy and you're destructive just like your ancestors. And so we all may meet our gods minus Gaia. And then when you do, you're going to have to answer for why are you responsible for the death of all these people? Why do these people, and you still keeping them in a position of poverty and living off the benefits of your ancestors? Your ancestors didn't do right, and you continue to live on your life as it was normal without answering for it. In every single religion, even in your own Christian religion, you have to answer for that shit at the end of the day. You just kind of manipulate that religion to make it seem like, well, that's what they did, living off the benefit in any legal, religious period. But somehow it gets displaced when you have to answer for it. But I love the fact that we're so transparent now, because all the things that we believed, that we were told we were crazy, we were extra sensitive about things. Yeah, you might get a little, I guess that kind of happens. But with the reality of it, guess what? Can't shake that shit. Shit's real. And when it comes to me answering to my religious maker and you answering to yours, where you really going to be at the end of the day? Along with the 6 Poet, I'm done. I'm not out, I'm done.